Hello everybody, hope you're well. This video is about this, the ENGWE P275 PRO. Now it's supposed to be a commuter bike, and it is a commuter bike, but it's got some interesting features, and I think it'll be a good camping expedition bike as well. So let's have a look closely at some of the features. But if you look at the frame setup, you get a brilliant bag in there. You've got the rack for storage, you'd get panniers on there for storage, and you can have fittings on the front for a front rack. And it's got a massive battery in it. This, according to the website, will do about 200k plus. So even if you're going to get around 100 miles on this, it's going to be absolutely incredible. But that'd be great for commuting, because you'll be able to charge it up once a week, obviously depending how far you commute, but generally people do about 10 miles a day commuting, according to the website. So you'll be able to charge it up one day a week, go to work on it all week and only charge it up at the weekend again. Or if you're off camping, you might be able to charge this up once or twice and do a really big trip for a week. Well impressed. So the first new feature, it's got a carbon belt. So it's belt driven. So there's no chain, no oiling, no rattles, hardly any maintenance. There's a tensioner on here. And obviously if you want to take the wheel out, you undo this bolt here, slacken the tensioner off, and if you want to take the belt off, you undo these pieces of the frame and you can get the belt off. But it's also got an automatic gearbox in the back there. So it's a centrifuge, and that spins at speed, and at different speeds it changes from 1, 2 to 3 gears, which we need to test because it's going to be interesting when you go up a hill. You probably have to go up a hill slowly. But I also want to test it to see if you pedal backwards it drops down a gear, which I think it may do on a centrifuge. But very stylish. I think it looks a bit James Bondy. No suspension. It's got one of these new dropper seats. I think it looks particularly nice on the front of on the back of the camper van. It's got a built-in front light which is actually into the frame. Super chunky tyres. There's no suspension, but the tyres are chunky, so you'll get some suspension out of them. But it is designed as a commuter bike, but I do think it'd be good for camping. And it's a mid-drive motor as well. It is a UK bike, so it's a 250 watt motor. It will only do 15.5 mile an hour or 25k, and there's no throttle on it. And the handlebars, we'll have a look in more detail in a bit, are also quite clean because there's no gear lever because of that automatic gear. All aluminium frame, no welds, and they've hidden all the cables as well, which is quite impressive. Massive battery, you can charge the battery in the bike and take the battery out. You can take the rack off if you want. Disc brakes, hydraulic disc brakes. Decent pedals, and these pedals have got these ridges in with like a rubber insert in them for more grip. Which are good for commuting if you're wearing work shoes, stop your feet slipping. We'll put a video clip at the end of the video to show it when it went together and how it went together, but it went together quite easily. The assemble wasn't a problem at all. Aluminium full mud guards, again for commuting. Keep the dirt off you. So let's go for a ride. Charging port is here under this rubber cover, and you also get a key, and you put a key in the second hole, turn it, take the key out, and you can slide the battery out. Drop a seat with a lever. Very clean dashboard, and one of ENGWE's somewhat famous bells now, very steampunk. To power it on, there's a little button there, press on all that, and the display comes to life, colour display, and you have various settings: Eco, that's Tour, that's Sport, Sport Plus and Boost. and you get all the things you'd expect on here: kilometres, miles an hour, distance travel, time left, how much battery you've got left, your speed. You can change it from kilometres to miles per hour. And if you press and hold the top button down for a couple of seconds, the display goes dark for night use and your lights come on the front. Now, there isn't a fixed light on the back. There's a bracket for one, but there doesn't come with one. You'll see when I do the assemble, there's a light that fits under here that adds its own battery, so you have to switch it on independently. Tyres look decent, puncture resistant, and they have the fluorescent ring on the side to give you a reflection from car lights, and you also have the wheel reflectors as well. Hydraulic disc brakes that are drilled and slotted to get rid of the water, and the Bafang 250 watt mid-drive motor. Over a cattle grid. Second gear just clicked in then. Or was that third gear? Oh no, there's third gear. So it looks like, let's do it again. Slow right down. First gear, second gear, third gear. It's nice and comfy. I would happily take this camping with that type of range on the battery. It's ideal. The brakes are super keen. I suppose for a commuter bike you might need to start suddenly, so having hydraulic brakes on that will help. The gear change, you can just feel it, but I don't know if you can hear, it's a little bit windy today, but the motor is extremely quiet. It is a lovely bike, really like it. I like the design, I like the look, I like the lack of the problems with derailleurs and chains and oil and all those type of things. Chains coming off on your way to work. When you're in your work gear, you won't have that problem. And those belt drives last an incredible amount of time. If you think timing chains or timing belts on cars are made out of that stuff, carbon belts. Of course you get these trendy ENGWE bells. So I've got no power on at the moment, going down slight hill. Eco mode, a little bit more. Touring. Sport. Sport plus. Boost. You notice the difference when you get into boost. It's actually a lovely day out there for a ride as well. The seat's relatively comfy as well. It looks quite hard. I've got no cycling shorts or anything because, you know, it's designed as a commuter bike, and it's a good plastic cover on it as well. So if it's left out in the rain, it's not going to soak up any water, which is good to see. It's obviously been extremely well thought out and very well designed. It's got its own stand and everything. It's perfect for the job it's designed for commuting. And the idea of that, if you do about 10 miles a day back and forward to work, you could use it on one charge for a week, which is a brilliant idea. Saves messing about of getting to work, charging it up to get home again and all that messing about. So super impressed, love the design, love the look of it. It's not over heavy for what it is, and to have that size of battery in. And if you're transporting it on a bike rack, I didn't do this, but you could take the battery out to make it even lighter. So it has got a big battery in. But I do like the idea that it'd be a good touring bike. As I said before, get a bag in there, get a rack on the front, panniers on there, bag on the back of there, plenty of room to go touring on it, and a battery of that size you're not trying to charge it at every campsite. Seat adjustment, fine, no major problem with that, it works fine. But I suppose if it's set to your size, it's set to your size, but if you want to adjust it for commuting around town to get it easier and off, and if you want to go up and down hills a bit and you want to adjust the seat, the option is there. Belt drive, they are incredibly good. You just think of it, it's so antiquated, the old-fashioned derailleur and a chain. Derailleur, it derails the chain from those back sprockets. And having this automatic gearbox in there, I know it's only got 3 gears, but it works well, and you can see the difference as you're pedaling and feel the difference. The motor is incredibly quiet. You can hardly hear it, you can just hear it, but you can hardly hear it. It's very well thought out. If I'd make any changes to it, I'd probably have an integral light on the back that runs off the battery. Don't know why they haven't done that, but that'd have been good to see, but not a major. Mudguards are good, tyres are great. Those sponginess in those tyres, I haven't got them over hard, so it gives you a little bit of suspension. I certainly wouldn't put suspension on it. It's very well designed as it is. I suppose if you've been hypercritical, this light always points forward, so if you go around a corner, the light's going that way and you're going that way. But if you're commuting again, is that a major issue? You should be somewhere that's got some sort of light. But it's good to see it, part of the stylish design. Very well impressed. Let's go and have a look how it went together. Let's have a look at the assembly. Let's show you how it's packaged and how we put it together. Like every ENGWE bike I've reviewed, and I've reviewed a few now, they always come well packed. I seem to have this sorted nowadays. Now let's get it out of the box. The packaging looks to have worked well. I can't see any marks whatsoever. Just polystyrene dust packaging. In the box, it's a box that the power supply comes in. It's got UK plug on it. Got one of their funky bells. They're really good, they are. The pedals, the backlight. The stand comes separate, the rack comes separate. Come with a bike but not attached. There's a toolkit, and I've mentioned this before, if you had a motorbike in the 1970s, that's what the toolkit used to look like. Same sort of plastic wallet as well. You get some tire wraps and an instruction book. Comprehensive. I like it's got pictures as part of the diagram on, shows you how it's packed up and how to unpack it. I won't read the instructions to put it together because I like to test that it's simple enough to put together. And apart from the knife from cutting the tire wraps to unpackage it, I'll only use the tools that are provided. Every time I unpackage one of these bikes now, it reminds me of the guy who sent me a message when he was watching one of these videos saying if you get a little screwdriver, you can unclip the tire wraps and you'll be able to use them. Can you imagine how long that'd take? It's a relatively straightforward assembly. Seat goes in there. You turn this and tighten the clamp. Handlebars on there. Front wheel in. Pedals. Back and front mudguard needs fastening on. I think that's it. Interesting, as I'm putting it together, this is obviously a belt, so it doesn't have a split link. So there's a piece of the frame you can undo there if you ever want to take the wheel out or take the belt off completely. I think that looks really stylish. I haven't put the rack on yet. I just wanted to show it without the rack on. That's quite a smart bike, that, isn't it? Massive battery in it to give it that performance. Just a tip, when you assemble this, these screws here, one on each side, you need to tighten those up because the forks are swung the wrong way around for packaging, so when you turn them the right way, you just need to nip those up. There we have it all together. When putting the rack on, put all 4 screws in loosely before you tighten them up, because you have to line them up, but it does fit perfectly. Looks like you might be able to buy a rack for the front as well if you want it, turn it into a cargo bike. The little clip under here with the spacer in,
you remove that and then slide the backlight in, and the backlight's got its own little battery.
So it went together relatively easy, not difficult in any way. Bit fiddly in places, just tightening all the screws up, but not difficult. Didn't need to refer to the instruction book. Only use the tools that it come with. Let's get out and use it. Looks smart, doesn't it? Looks a bit James Bondy, a bit 007.
Got the battery out for charging, so it is removable. There's a key slot in here. You put the key in, unlock it, take the key out, and then lift the battery to get it out. When it's charging, you get a red light on the charger. When it's fully charged, it goes green. And it's a quiet charger, it's got no fans in it. It's been charging for about an hour so far, and nothing's getting hot or warm.
So there you have it, the ENGWE P275 PRO commuter bike, but more than a commuter bike. Definitely a good bike for doing touring on. Love it, love the features, they're just getting better and better and better, and the prices are coming down. If this was out 5 years ago, it cost an absolute fortune. I'm not 100% sure of the price because I'm doing this video before they're ready to go out onto the market. So I'll put the price down below, and there may well be a discount code in the description and a link to the website, and there'll be a lot more information on the website, and undoubtedly there'll be quite a few more videos out there on YouTube. So if you're thinking of getting one of these, do your research, look at the specs, check their website and look at some more reviews. I don't think anybody's going to have anything negative about this. It's not got lots of power in relation to easy pedalling. You do have to put some effort in, but not over effort. You can significantly tell the difference between switching the power off and having the power on. But it's not got a massive big motor in it that gives you lots of power. But there again, you can cycle to work on this even if you're up and down some hills, and you're not going to be hot and sweaty. It's going to be comfortable to commute in. I just think they've got it so right with this bike. I like the look of it, I like the functionality, I like the idea that they've gone for a belt drive, the automatic gears, the massive battery so you're not having to charge it up after every trip or two. It just works so well. Well done ENGWE, keep it up, keep the work up. And thanks to everybody watching, and we'll see you on the next one.